Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Charles Chinakwo Denibo. I'm a fourth year medical student and a rising intern at the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania. I made a video a couple weeks ago about how I landed my dream program. But without further ado, let's get into this video where I'll be going over 4 major tips that helped me land my dream program, and vamos. Oh, by the way, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also click the like button while you're there, and if you can leave a comment below, that'll be much appreciated. Thank you very much. So tip number 1, make sure you research the minimum requirement for the primary screening phase of the program. From my understanding, a lot of these programs have an initial screening phase because they receive thousands of applications. Therefore, know what the minimum requirement is. That way, you're not automatically eliminated from receiving an invite to interview. These could be your USMLE board scores. It could be whether you need to hit a certain number of honors rotation. It could be your citizenship status. So, for example, some programs might have a 230 on your USMLE board score screening phase, and if you don't hit that 230 benchmark, you're automatically screened out. And if you're not a US citizen, for example, you're automatically screened out. So do that primary research first of all before you then decide to apply to the program and try to hit that benchmark. Tip number 2, do an away rotation if you can. Doing an away rotation helped me solidify a lot of relationship at my desired program. But there is an argument for doing an away rotation in that you ultimately have 4 weeks to not mess up. But I viewed it from a different lens. I viewed it as 4 weeks to maximize my chances of getting into my dream program. Speaking from an internal medicine perspective, I also decided to do all my away rotations in subspecialties rather than core internal medicine. This gave me the chance to explore other subspecialties such as infectious disease, cardiology, and rheumatology, as well as also get a good insight into how cardiologists, infectious disease specialists, and also rheumatologists approach a problem, which ultimately I felt would help me as an internal medicine resident whenever I consult a specialist. Another advantage was these subspecialty electives were also not quite as intense as the core internal medicine electives. Typically, the hours are better, they were mostly outpatient, and then finally, doing the subspecialty, because I'm applying into internal medicine, it helped lower that anxiety level I had going in. So with the anxiety level lowered, I found that I was able to perform better, as well as still get all the benefits of being within the institution itself. I could still get all the letters of recommendations that I needed. Tip number 3, know what makes you unique. In the 2023 application cycle, there were about 43,000 applicants, and all these applicants are very qualified. So you have to figure out what makes you unique and what makes you different from every other 43,000 applicant. For me, for example, that was my nursing background. I knew my nursing background was quite unique, so I built my personal essays and my applications around that. I didn't dwell much on it because you also want to diversify your application and show that you're a very diverse applicant, but be ready to speak about that one thing or couple things that make you unique throughout the application process, as well as during your interviews. Be able to incorporate that into any interview question that you might be asked. And finally, tip number 4, do your research prior to your interview day, especially for your desired programs. Make sure that you know a lot about the program right beforehand. A lot of the information on the website and the emails that they would have sent prior. Also, the night before, the week before, there's usually a social. Try and learn as much as you can about the program. Try and find what you have in common with the program. Also, know your application like the back of your hand. And also be ready to answer any question that might be asked about anything that you've written in your application. It could be the most random thing. Like it could be an experience that you listed that you did during your first year, a volunteer experience. Be ready to talk about that. it could be brought up by anyone at any point in the interview. So know your application very well. And with that said, those are the 4 tips that really made a lot of difference for me in terms of my residency application. And if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like the video as well if you find it helpful. Thank you very much. Hope you have a great day. Ciao.